Well, we ran a small event last year as a trial in October at Nearbel, and we had probably about 8 different stallholders. And it was so successful, we thought, right, let's see what happens if we ask everybody to do something on a much bigger scale. And I have to say, the response has been fantastic. Um, in fact, by the day, people are now realizing this is happening and asking if they can come along. But we've got well over 30 different stallholders, and it covers every single aspect of what's happening in the Isle of Man. So, yeah, it's going to be a really good 2 days.
Now, as you say, this is something that Beach Buddies have set up, but it's lots of different exhibitors. Why is it so important that the environmental groups come together and work together like this?
Well, you know what? It's never happened before. I think we're all guilty of operating independently and doing our own thing quite successfully, I suppose. But in many ways, well, in fact, until October, quite a few of the organisations had never been in the same room with other people. And let's face it, we all share cares about nature and wildlife and the environment. So it's just seems a very logical and simple thing to do. And I have to say, I'm very grateful that Manx Telecom has just very recently decided that they're going to give us some support to help pay for this, because otherwise it would have come out of our pockets. So I'm really grateful that they're coming along, and there's big support from your own organisation, Manx Radio Dreamcatcher, and also from the Skywind Group. So this is, people coming together to make something happen, and I think it'll be really interesting and informative for people when they come down to see all of these different aspects of what's happening in our island.
So, 30 exhibitors. Who's going to be there?
Right, well, I've got a pretty long list here. I'm not going to read them all out, but just to tell you about the main ones. Climate Change Coalition are going to be there. We've got the Biosphere. We have your own Dreamcatcher guys. We've got the Green Party, Friends of the Earth, Isle of Man Post are going to be there. Beekeepers, Bat Group, BirdLife, Manx Wildlife Trust, Manx Wild Bird Aid. You name it. We've got the Manx Whale and Dolphin Watch, Hedgehog Conservation Society, Footpaths. So it's not just covering animals and focusing on one area. And this is about everything that's going on in terms of what we call our biosphere in the Isle of Man. So I think also anybody who's not sure what biosphere means will probably go away from the weekend understanding it an awful lot better. And there's going to be lots of activities for the family, so lots of the stands are going to have little bits of entertainment and things for them to do. So it's free admission. Nobody has to pay a penny.
Now, this is an event that's open to everyone, but you've particularly extended an invite to all of the schools. Why is it so important to engage with the younger generation?
They came along on the morning of the October event, and there was only about 4 or 5 schools who came, but you could just see by the way that they engaged that they had really got the message, and they found out some very interesting facts about what's happening around the island. So it was great for them to be able to go into one area and find out about half a dozen or more different stands. So on this basis, they can come in and find about 30 or 40. And so Friday, because it's a school day, obviously we're trying to get as many schools to come as possible. And then, but it's open to the public both days, and it's open from 10 o'clock till 4 p.m. each day. And we hope people will come along and also enjoy going into Peel and maybe having a beer and eating in Peel while they're there. We're not providing any facilities like that. So this is an informative, educational event, and it's going to be the first of many.
And we've heard today that Laxey School have been shortlisted for Sustainable School of the Year. What do you make of the work that they're doing there?
Wow. You know what? I love Laxey School. I've been going there now for a couple of years, and it all started when I went down there to give a talk, and then we arranged a beach cleaning session, or two. We've run quite a few down there, and when the entire school turned up in November, I think it was, plus all the local commissioners, plus a whole pile of the local community, that was a special day, and it's just kick-started from there. And of course, it's not just about beach cleaning. They've gone on to tackle plastics in their village. They are campaigning. They've written to people like Tesco and asked them to get rid of plastic bags. They are really fantastic, and I'm not in the least bit surprised that they've been shortlisted for this award. And in fact, I'm going to go with them to London in June to fingers crossed that they win it.
And they're not the only school doing something environmental at the moment. Ramsey Grammar School are presenting a petition to the Chief Minister on Friday,
Yes.
trying to reduce the number of plastic bottles.
Yes.
I think they said they use 1,000 bottles a day. How big a difference would that make if they're able to find a way to use a reusable bottle instead?
A reusable bottle would be good, but you know what? I'm very keen on a deposit return system so that these things, people bring them back and get 5p for them or whatever they're going to get for them. Excuse me. And the same applies to any other item. It doesn't just have to be plastic bottles. It could be tin cans, and glass bottles like it used to be when I was a kid. So I really like that idea. But the fact that Ramsey Grammar are doing this, I mean, I know Annette, the head teacher there, but we've not consulted with her. They've just gone and done it on their own. Now, the great thing is that this is happening all around the Isle of Man at the moment. So the schools are setting an example. And the great thing is about this, and this happens with us on beach cleaning, is that when I go and talk to a school, the next thing you know, the children turn up with their parents. The children are educating the parents, and that is a big, big sea change. And the Isle of Man is setting these standards. People around the world are watching. There was a story very recently about a school in Thailand who's following exactly what was happening in Laxey. I mean, how amazing is that? And how many other schools are doing the same now? This is just great for the Isle of Man.
The growth in interest in the environment seems to have been very much led by the public. Why has there been such a growing interest recently?
The media's made a difference. The Queen has made a difference. David Attenborough has made a difference. In the Isle of Man, I like to think that we've made a difference, but I just think that it's reached a point where we are in a worldwide crisis where the planet and nature and wildlife is on the edge. And I think young people have finally got the message, and even now adults are getting the message and politicians are getting the message. But the great thing about this is that young people in particular can actually do something and make a change without waiting for politics and politicians to do things, because that is notoriously very slow. So I think that's why people can see that they can make a change and influence things, and politicians are going along with it as well. I'll tell you what, if they don't, they won't get re-elected.
And just coming back to the Environment Festival then, if someone wants to volunteer and get involved, how can they do that?
It's very easy. As I say, we're there from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. each day. We're setting up on Thursday. People who can come, anybody can come along. I mean, nobody's charging a fee, so therefore there's nobody needed to take money or anything like that. But we've got quite a variety of different things to be done. So if anybody wants to come along and help, then send an email to Beach Buddies via our website, beachbuddies.net, and we'd be very welcome to see you there.